Hello and welcome to Roadmap 2015. I'm Binga Ashiru. And here's the highlights. We'll be looking at the presidential election holding in February 2015. And as we speak, none of the aspirants has come to declare their intention to run. There's still some debate on whether or not it is right for the incumbent president, Goodluck Jonathan, to run for the presidential race come 2015. While the National Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Professor Wale Oladipo, justifies the president's ambition, let's now take a listen to the reasons given by the national scribe of the PDP.
Whether he will heed this clarion call, only President Jonathan and his staff can answer that question for now.
Kano State Governor Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso says the reports making round about his purported bid for 2015 presidential race is an eloquent testimony of his credibility as a potential president.
Maybe because you believe that the governor of Kano has the capacity to do the job.
Now, we shall be taking questions to the political parties on why the presidential aspirants are yet unknown. But before then, here's a background report on why the entire exercise is shrouded in secrecy. The race to the 2015 elections might have long been on, even before the Independent National Electoral Commission flagged off its timetable. With the coming on board of the All Progressives Congress in 2013 and the numerous defections of the political big guns from one party to another, not many could hold back the question if the president will be running for the 2015 presidency or not.
When I declared in 2011, it was not hidden. I always tell journalists not to worry. I'm a sitting president. If I tell Nigerians today I'm not contesting, there will be issues. If I say I'm now contesting, there will be issues. So leave it. Already the political environment is hot enough for us to manage. At the appropriate time, you will know.
Since then, President Goodluck Jonathan has been the only one people have been muting. But while speculations seem more real with numerous support groups calling for the president to contest, but what about the other parties? Who are their presidential aspirants?
We want a winning team. It is what the generality of the electors in the party think will be a winning team that I, as national chairman, will present to the nation.
How will the Independent National Electoral Commission respond to this question?
What you had the previous congresses conducted by parties, these were congresses to elect their party officials. But in the primaries, they will elect their candidate. So it's not yet time. So it will be around October, mid-October, up to November. That time, you will see party candidates emerging for 2015 election.
With less than 6 months to the election, how does the eventual candidate intend to sell their manifestos to the electorate before the February poll remains a puzzle yet to be unraveled? Just recently, we had reports that the former Senate President, Senator Ibrahim Mantu, said that the President, Goodluck Jonathan, will soon make public his 2015 re-election bid. Senator Mantu was also reported to have announced plan to reduce the number of President Goodluck Jonathan's support group from 3,000 to a reasonable size. Now let's join the National Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Professor Wale Oladipo, in this phone interview.
Thank you very much for that question. The PDP for now has no presidential aspirants. Our party believes in due process. We follow the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we follow the electoral law, and we follow the Constitution of our party. The emergence of our presidential candidate, the process is well spelled out in our Constitution and in the electoral law. When the time comes, those who are interested, they will apply, we will screen them as usual, and then we'll go for our national convention. It is only then that we have a presidential candidate.
But it's just less than 5 months to the elections. This is quite unusual. Don't you think so?
I don't know any party that has a presidential aspirant for now. So ours is not unusual.
Some school of thought have argued that your party has a problem in fielding their aspirants because of the numerous conflicting interests. Is that the case?
No, absolutely untrue. Ours is a big political party, a very large political family. We had always fielded a presidential candidate for all presidential elections. We have no problem at all. We follow the constitution of our party. We follow the electoral law. Our aspirants will emerge, out of which a candidate will emerge at our national convention. We have no problem at all.
A lot of people have been calling on President Jonathan to run. Is there any indication that he's going to run for this office come 2015?
Honestly, I'm the National Secretary of PDP. I don't work in the presidency. So, I wouldn't know whether the president intends to run or not. Of course, a lot of interest groups have been coming to the National Secretariat to express their support for President Jonathan. The Southwest, from which I emerged as the National Secretary, met as late as last year to endorse President Jonathan for a second term in office. It is his constitutional right to run. He has only run once. Our constitution allows you to run twice, maximum. So, it is his right. Whether he will heed this clarion call, only President Jonathan and his staff can answer that question for now.
I just wonder how come you're not in the picture, because we have reports that Senator Ibrahim Mansu said President Jonathan would declare soon. Is that anything to go by?
Well, Senator Mansu actually is not a member of the National Working Committee of PDP. He's an elder statesman. He's a political leader. He's a member of our DOT. If he said so, he must have his facts, and only himself can explain the source of that information. As for me, as the National Secretary of the party, I'm still waiting. I know that whoever emerges our candidate, by the special grace of God, will win this election. If it is Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, honestly, I think that will be a good continuation for the transformation agenda which he has initiated.
As it is, President Goodluck Jonathan appears to be the only candidate in the race towards 2015 presidential elections. That's what it appears to be. But what about the other political parties? What are they saying about their presidential candidates? Of course, some names have also cropped up from the grapevine, but that is not what we can take to the bank yet. But one name that has been consistently mentioned in the political scheme as a possible candidate for the All Progressives Congress is the governor of Kano State, Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. He was the governor of Kano State from 1999 to 2003. In 2003, he lost the governorship seat to Malam Ibrahim Shekarau. Governor Kwankwaso was appointed Minister of Defense in 2003. Now, while he was re-elected as the governor of Kano State in 2011, Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso is also reputed to be a loyalist of a former president, Olusegun Obasanjo. Just last year, he defected from the PDP to the APC. Channels TV met with Governor Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso recently, and we asked him about his presidential ambition.
I have heard so much about that, even though I did not tell anybody that I'm interested in contesting any election by 2015. Because, you know, we are the last set or party to join APC. And since then, we have been working very hard to build the parties in our various states and also build it at national level. Now that is done, I'm sure many things will follow, including elders and all members of APC sitting down to look around like we did during the election of our leadership at national level to come up with the most competent and, of course, somebody who can defeat the PDP during the 2015 election.
Would you be contesting, would you be running in the primaries of APC?
Well, certainly that will depend on the discussions and, of course, on the general consensus of our party. We join politics not necessarily to get elected, but, of course, we join politics to ensure that our ideology succeeds in the country, just like is succeeding here in Kano. And at the end of the day, I know that we will go to the river, and when we go there, we will cross it. Of course, our party, by the grace of God, will win election at the national level. Who will become the candidate of the party, we are not yet there.
Mr. Governor, boy, are you aware that your name has been penciled down as one of the possible candidates to run for the APC primaries?
Maybe because you believe that the governor of Kano had the capacity to do the job. And that's why I say I thank Almighty God for leaving PDP and being in APC, where now people are seeing our capacity and competence to do the highest job in this country.
Now, just to make it clear, are you saying if you are offered the candidacy, if you are offered the platform to contest, to run for the primaries, are you saying you're going to turn down the offer?
You see, right now, as I told you, I have not told anybody that I intend to contest any position in our party. But I can assure you, if it is the general consensus of our party, I will take that as a challenge. And at a stage, I even told everybody that even if it is the PDP that I left that would go to the polls, that's minus APC and other people, definitely I will defeat the incumbent president.
What is the newness to expect from APC, which is claiming to be on a rescue mission?
Now, you see, in 1998, we all came together from all the divides, including the ideological divide. If you take an example of Kano, we had members of the PRP, the Aminu Kano faction and the Rimi faction, and of course the MPN party. And we came together to form the PDP in those days. And you can see very clearly that we came together and we are people from various sides of the ideologies that we have in this country or in the world. And at the end of the day, we started working together. Of course, the idea then was to kick out the military, which we did, and we formed various governments. And you see, in 2003, I was here and I lost the election. And I lost the election for many obvious reasons. One of them was the fact that at that time, we realized that we were together with people with various ideologies and so on. And that is what happened across the country. And by formation of APC, what we have today is the segments of progressive people who were in PDP and other parties that came together now to form a party with a better ideology, with a better determination to bring the changes that are required in this country. So now water is taking its level. We are separating the chaffs and the grains. And that is exactly the meaning of APC and the other parties in this country.
Now, a few months to the election come 2015, the APC is yet to field its candidates. Are they getting it right in the APC? Is this the kind of party you want Nigerians to place their future on?
Yes, you have to realize that APC is a party that was born not long ago. You should congratulate us for what has been achieved within a very short period of time. Even other parties that were on the ground since 98 and so on are yet to field their candidates. I think this is the question that we should put to the PDP, which has been on the ground since 1998. Up to now, we are not aware of their own candidate. And therefore, you should direct that question to them. But I believe very soon, APC will come up with a position that will ensure the success of the party in this country.
Now we are left with little or no choice than to pass the question to the leading opposition party, the All Progressives Party, who are their presidential aspirants. Now let's join the former Senate Minority Leader, Senator Olorunbe Mamora, to discuss the 2015 presidential elections. Senator Mamora, you're welcome on this edition of Roadmap 2015 on Channels TV.
Thank you for inviting me.
Now, going into the heart of the story, recently, the only person that people have been mentioning that has been garnering a lot of support for the presidential race is President Goodluck Jonathan. We've had support groups, and they are even planning to prune them down to over 3,000. What about your party? Who are the